Welcome back to XRP Insider, your trusted source for the latest XRP updates, crypto market analysis, and breaking blockchain news. Today we're diving deep into the latest XRP price action as the token faces fresh bearish pressure after losing the critical $1.40 support level. At the same time, major developments involving XRP ETFs, whale accumulation, wallet growth, and U.S. crypto regulation are creating one of the most important moments for XRP holders in 2026. Even though the broader crypto market has turned cautious, many analysts still believe XRP could be preparing for a major move once this current consolidation phase ends. So in today's update, we'll break down the price levels traders are watching, the surprising ETF inflows shaking up Wall Street, why large XRP holders are quietly accumulating again, and how the latest Clarity Act progress in Washington could impact Ripple and XRP moving forward. There's a lot happening right now behind the scenes, and while short-term volatility continues to scare weak hands out of the market, long-term investors are paying very close attention to what may happen next. Over the last several trading sessions, XRP has struggled to regain momentum after slipping below the key $1.40 support area, and this move has added fresh bearish pressure across the market. The broader crypto sector also turned defensive as Bitcoin cooled off and altcoins started losing strength one after another. XRP was not immune to that weakness. Traders who were expecting a strong continuation rally suddenly found themselves watching price momentum slow down dramatically as selling pressure increased near important resistance zones. Even though XRP remains one of the strongest large-cap digital assets fundamentally, short-term sentiment clearly became more cautious after the breakdown below support. Many technical analysts now believe that XRP's ability to reclaim the $1.40 to $1.42 range will determine whether bulls can regain control in the coming days. The market has entered a phase where investors are watching every candle closely because one strong move in either direction could set the tone for the rest of May. Despite the uncertainty, XRP continues to hold attention because its market structure still looks healthier compared to many smaller altcoins that experienced much steeper declines during the same period. One of the biggest stories affecting XRP right now is the growing focus on crypto regulation in the United States. On May 14th, the Senate Banking Committee advanced the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act with a 15-9 vote, marking another major step toward clearer crypto legislation. This bill aims to establish more transparent rules regarding how digital assets are classified inside the U.S. financial system. For years, uncertainty around whether certain tokens should be treated as securities or commodities has created confusion and fear across the crypto industry. XRP has been at the center of that conversation ever since Ripple's legal battle with the SEC began years ago. Now, some market watchers believe the Clarity Act could potentially benefit XRP if lawmakers eventually classify it outside traditional securities rules. That possibility has created cautious optimism among investors who believe regulatory clarity could unlock massive institutional adoption in the future. However, it's important to remember that the legislative process is far from complete. Nothing has officially passed yet, and many details could still change before final approval happens. Still, the fact that lawmakers are actively discussing clearer digital asset frameworks is something many XRP supporters see as a positive long-term signal. At the same time, macroeconomic uncertainty continues influencing crypto markets globally. Investors are becoming more selective with risk exposure as inflation concerns, interest rate expectations, and global economic slowdown fears continue shaping market behavior. In environments like this, altcoins often experience sharper volatility compared to Bitcoin. XRP's recent weakness below $1.40 reflects that broader defensive sentiment. Traders who entered positions expecting fast gains are becoming increasingly nervous, while long-term holders appear far less concerned about temporary price swings. Some analysts believe this current phase resembles earlier consolidation periods XRP experienced before explosive breakouts in past cycles. During those periods, price often moved sideways for weeks while sentiment remained mixed, only to surprise the market with a sudden upward move later. Right now, the psychological battle between bulls and bears is intensifying because both sides believe they have valid reasons supporting their outlook. Bears point to weakening momentum and broken support levels, while bulls focus on accumulation data, ETF demand, and improving regulatory conditions. This conflict is exactly why many traders expect volatility to increase significantly over the next few weeks. Technical analysts are now focusing heavily on several critical XRP price levels that may determine the asset's short-term direction. According to current market analysis, immediate resistance remains near the $1.425 level, followed by stronger resistance zones around $1.454 and $1.505. If XRP manages to reclaim those levels with strong volume, analysts believe momentum could quickly shift back in favor of buyers. On the downside, traders are watching support near $1.379 and $1.350 very carefully. If those support zones fail to hold, bearish pressure could accelerate and potentially trigger another wave of liquidations across leveraged positions. However, if XRP successfully stabilizes above the current range, many analysts believe consolidation could continue before another breakout attempt happens later this month. What makes this situation especially interesting is the fact that XRP continues holding relatively stable despite broader market weakness. Normally, when altcoins enter defensive phases, panic selling becomes much more aggressive. But XRP's ability to avoid a complete collapse suggests strong underlying demand still exists beneath the surface. Another important development attracting attention is the explosive growth in XRP wallet activity. According to fresh sentiment data, approximately 332,230 addresses now hold at least 10,000 XRP, marking a brand new all-time high for the network. This statistic is extremely important because wallets holding 10,000 XRP or more are often viewed as serious long-term participants rather than casual traders. Historically, when larger holders steadily accumulate during periods of market uncertainty, it signals confidence in future price appreciation. What's especially interesting is how consistent this accumulation trend has been since mid-2024. Even during periods of heavy volatility, many mid-sized and large XRP holders continued adding to their positions instead of exiting the market. Analysts often interpret this type of behavior as smart money quietly positioning itself before larger moves happen later. While retail traders tend to react emotionally to short-term price swings, experienced investors usually focus more on long-term market structure, adoption trends, and macro developments. The latest wallet growth data strongly suggests that many committed XRP holders still believe the asset's best days may be ahead. However, the market did experience one significant setback earlier this year that temporarily interrupted the accumulation trend. Between February 6 and February 8, the number of wallets holding more than 10,000 XRP dropped by over 4,500 addresses during a sharp crypto market downturn. That decline happened as panic spread across the entire digital asset sector, triggering liquidations and forcing weaker participants out of positions. For a brief moment, it appeared as though confidence in XRP was weakening. But what happened next caught the attention of many analysts. Instead of continuing lower, wallet counts rebounded aggressively and quickly erased the entire decline. Not only did accumulation recover, but it pushed wallet totals to completely new record highs afterward. This rapid recovery suggests that investors treated the dip as a buying opportunity rather than the beginning of a long-term bearish trend. That distinction matters because strong rebounds after heavy selling often reveal where real market confidence exists. XRP's ability to recover accumulation metrics so quickly indicates many holders remain deeply committed to the asset's long-term future. Market analyst Ali Martinez recently shared another important technical perspective that has been circulating heavily throughout the XRP community. According to Martinez, XRP remains trapped inside a clearly defined trading channel, and the next major breakout could depend on whether price closes above the upper boundary near $1.49. If that breakout occurs, Martinez believes XRP could potentially rally toward the $1.80 area. That target has become a major point of discussion among traders because it represents a significant upside move from current levels. Many technical traders are now closely monitoring daily candle closes around that resistance zone because a confirmed breakout could trigger aggressive momentum buying across the market. The idea behind this analysis is simple. Prolonged consolidation often creates pressure that eventually releases in a powerful directional move. If XRP finally escapes its current range to the upside, the resulting momentum could attract fresh retail and institutional interest simultaneously. However, until a confirmed breakout actually happens, analysts continue warning traders about the possibility of false moves and temporary volatility traps. Another respected crypto analyst known as Mickey Bull Crypto also shared a bullish interpretation of XRP's recent price action. According to his analysis, XRP appears to be forming a classic breakout retest setup, which many traders consider one of the strongest bullish continuation patterns in technical analysis. In this scenario, price breaks above a previous resistance level, then returns to retest that same area as new support before continuing higher. When the retest holds successfully, it often confirms underlying strength and signals that buyers remain in control despite temporary pullbacks. Mickey Bull Crypto believes XRP's current structure closely resembles that pattern, which is why many traders remain optimistic even after recent weakness. Of course, technical patterns never guarantee future results, but market psychology often causes similar setups to repeat over time. The reason traders pay close attention to these patterns is because they reveal how buyers and sellers behave around important price levels. Right now, XRP's behavior near support zones could provide critical clues about whether another major move is approaching. One of the strongest bullish developments for XRP this year came from the explosive growth in spot XRP ETFs across the United States. According to recent data, U.S. spot XRP ETFs recorded their strongest weekly performance of 2026 between May 11 and May 15th. During that period alone, these products attracted approximately $60.5 million in net inflows, marking the largest weekly intake since launch. This development shocked many market participants because institutional demand appears to be growing, even while short-term price action remains uncertain. ETF inflows matter because they represent real capital entering the market from professional investors, asset managers, and larger financial participants. Unlike speculative retail trading, institutional flows often reflect longer-term strategic positioning. When investors commit millions of dollars into regulated XRP investment products during periods of market weakness, it suggests confidence in the asset's future outlook. Many XRP supporters believe this trend could eventually become one of the biggest catalysts for sustained price growth over the next several years. Data from SoSoValue also revealed that cumulative net inflows across all U.S. spot XRP ETFs reached approximately $1.39 billion, while total net assets stood around $1.18 billion as of May 15. Weekly trading volume also surged to roughly $137.2 million, highlighting growing investor activity across these products. Among the top performers, Bitwise led the group with approximately $25.67 million in weekly inflows. Franklin Templeton followed closely behind with about $21.04 million, while Canary's XRPC product added roughly $15.2 million. Grayscale's GXRP fund also attracted significant interest, with nearly $16.7 million in inflows. Meanwhile, 21 Shares TOXR product remained relatively flat during the same period. On May 15th alone, SoSoValue reported an additional $10.87 million entering XRP ETFs. These numbers are becoming increasingly difficult for the broader financial industry to ignore. Institutional involvement in XRP markets is no longer just speculation. The data clearly shows that larger financial players are actively participating in the ecosystem, despite ongoing regulatory uncertainty. Many investors now believe ETF growth could eventually become the bridge connecting XRP to mainstream financial adoption. Historically, ETFs have played a major role in increasing accessibility and legitimacy for emerging asset classes. Bitcoin experienced a similar transformation after spot ETF approval opened the door for institutional capital to enter more aggressively. Some XRP supporters believe the same process could gradually unfold here, as more investment firms launch regulated XRP products. Of course, XRP still faces challenges, especially regarding regulation and market competition. But the current momentum surrounding ETF inflows cannot be ignored. Institutional demand often moves slower than retail hype cycles, but it can create much more sustainable long-term growth once momentum builds. This is one reason why many analysts remain optimistic, despite short-term volatility. They believe the current phase may simply represent an early stage of broader institutional accumulation happening quietly behind the scenes. Beyond crypto, several major global stories are also shaping investor sentiment across technology and financial markets. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's recent visit to Sweden attracted attention after both countries launched a major AI and technology partnership aimed at doubling bilateral trade by 2030. The agreement includes plans for startup collaboration, artificial intelligence research, job creation, and stronger strategic ties between both nations. Analysts believe partnerships like this reflect how governments worldwide are rapidly increasing focus on AI and advanced technologies as part of future economic growth strategies. This broader global shift toward technological innovation is important for crypto markets because blockchain and AI sectors increasingly overlap in areas like automation, financial infrastructure, and decentralized systems. Investors watching these developments understand that the future digital economy may involve stronger integration between blockchain technology and artificial intelligence than many people currently realize. Meanwhile, the technology sector continues moving rapidly with major announcements from companies like Oppo and Sony. Oppo is reportedly preparing to launch its Reno 16 series, Pad 6 tablet, and Enco Air 5's devices later this month in China. Early reports suggest these products will feature stronger AI-powered tools, larger batteries, premium displays, and improved ecosystem connectivity. Competition among smartphone manufacturers remains intense as companies race to integrate more advanced AI capabilities into consumer devices. At the same time, Sony confirmed that Ghost of Yotei Legends will no longer receive major content updates after its latest patch, citing rising development costs and slowing player growth. These stories highlight a larger trend affecting global markets right now. Companies are becoming increasingly selective about where they allocate long-term resources. Investors across both traditional and crypto markets are paying close attention to which industries continue attracting major capital and innovation. Another headline creating massive discussion worldwide involves the ongoing legal battle between Elon Musk and OpenAI. Many experts believe the outcome of this lawsuit could fundamentally reshape how artificial intelligence companies operate in the future. The case focuses heavily on the balance between public benefit missions and corporate profit structures inside the AI industry. Some analysts believe the final verdict could influence future rules around AI governance, transparency, and corporate control. This matters because artificial intelligence is rapidly becoming one of the most powerful economic and technological forces globally. Investors understand that whoever controls advanced AI infrastructure could hold enormous influence over future industries. Crypto supporters are also watching closely because decentralized technologies may eventually play a larger role in protecting transparency and reducing centralized control across digital ecosystems. The intersection between blockchain, AI, and regulation is becoming one of the defining themes shaping the next generation of technology markets. As we look ahead, XRP's future direction appears increasingly tied to three major factors: regulatory clarity, institutional adoption, and broader market sentiment. In the short term, traders remain focused on whether XRP can reclaim key resistance zones and avoid further downside pressure below current support levels. But beneath the surface, several bullish signals continue building quietly. Wallet growth remains at record highs, ETF inflows continue accelerating, and regulatory discussions are becoming more serious inside Washington. While volatility may continue frustrating short-term traders, long-term investors appear far more focused on the bigger picture developing over time. Many believe XRP is gradually positioning itself as one of the most institutionally accepted digital assets in the market today. Whether that optimism ultimately leads to a breakout toward higher price targets remains to be seen, but there's no question that XRP continues standing at the center of some of the biggest conversations happening across crypto right now. That's the latest XRP update for today here on XRP Insider. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want daily XRP news, price analysis, ETF updates, and crypto market coverage delivered in simple and easy-to-follow language, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an important update. The XRP market is moving fast, and with regulation, institutional money, and technical setups all converging at the same time, the next few weeks could become extremely important for XRP holders everywhere. Thanks for watching XRP Insider, and we'll see you in the next update.